Welcome! Today, we're diving into the incredible parables of the Lotus Sutra, which is one of the most celebrated texts in Mahayana Buddhism. We're going to see how these stories, thousands of years old, can actually become vibrant, living teachings for our lives right now. But let's be real. That's a totally fair question. When you think of ancient scriptures, it's easy to be a little skeptical, right? Do these tales from a completely different time and place have any real relevance in our world of smartphones and endless scrolling? You know, the book we're drawing from for this explainer puts it perfectly. So many of us see these texts as these dusty old books, filled with language and ideas that just feel totally disconnected from the challenges we're actually facing. But what if we just flipped that whole perspective on its head? What if we came at these stories not as a set of rigid rules to be followed, but as something way more dynamic and way more personal? And that brings us to the core idea here, thinking of these ancient parables as mirrors. Not just historical artifacts, but mirrors that reflect our own lives, our own struggles, and our own incredible potential for growth. So a parable isn't designed to just hand you a simple answer. It's an allegory, it's a metaphor, and it intentionally leaves things out, inviting you, the listener, to use your own imagination and your own life experience to find the meaning that really speaks to you. The whole goal here isn't to get bogged down in historical debates or exact doctrine. No, it's about using these parables as windows into our own minds, into our own inner worlds. They literally become tools for self-reflection. So this is the huge shift, right? When we look at it this way, these stories transform from these static ancient lessons into living, breathing tools for our own personal awakening. They're not giving you the answers. They're inviting you to ask much better questions about yourself. Okay, let's make this real with our first big example. It's a really powerful parable that, well, it might feel a little unsettling at first, but trust me, it holds a profound message about the state of our own minds. So the story goes like this. A father sees his house is completely engulfed in flames. But inside, his kids are so busy playing with their toys that they have no idea of the danger they're in. So he has to figure out a clever way to get them out to safety. And this is where that big shift in perspective really clicks. The traditional view sees this as a story about the Buddha's clever teaching methods, but the personal, introspective meaning, it's so much more direct. That burning house, well, it's us. It's our own mind, caught up in suffering and endless distraction. This quote from Blaise Pascal just nails why we stay in that burning house. We are so often afraid of just facing ourselves, of being alone with our own thoughts, that we distract ourselves with all these games and toys, even when our inner world is totally on fire. But here is the beautiful, empowering part. This parable isn't just about the problem, it's about the solution. It tells us that there is an end to our suffering, and we have the power to find it. All we have to do is make the choice to get up and walk through that door. Okay, now let's build on that with a second, really powerful parable. This one's about a treasure that, believe it or not, we all have, but most of us are completely unaware of it. So imagine this. There's a man living a really hard life, in total poverty. What he doesn't know is that years and years ago, a wealthy friend secretly stitched a priceless jewel into the lining of his coat. He's been carrying around this immense wealth the entire time, and he has absolutely no clue. So, again, let's look at the different layers of meaning here. The conventional take is that we all have this perfect, inherent Buddha nature inside us. It's just there. But the personal view adds a really crucial step. It's not just there, it's a dormant seed. It's a potential that requires our conscious effort to find, to cultivate, and to make it grow. Thich Nhat Hanh's words here just clarify this so perfectly. The jewel, that hidden seed, isn't some mystical thing outside of us. It is the energy of our own awareness, our own capacity for insight. We just have to do the work to actually activate it. So what this is all building to is the idea that these stories are way more than just nice allegories. They're actually mapping out a path for our own personal journey of awakening, and it's all built on a few core principles. You see, the Lotus Sutra gives us 3 profound ideas. First is that all these teachings are just tools, skillful means to help us experience reality for ourselves. Second, that this idea of awakening isn't for some select few. It's a potential that's inside every single one of us. And third, that this awakened state is boundless. It goes way beyond our normal ideas of time and life itself. And that brings us right back around to you, to the central question of this whole explainer. When you think about the burning house of your own distractions, or that hidden jewel of your own potential, how do these 2,000-year-old stories actually reflect what's happening in your life today? And this quote from Joseph Campbell just brilliantly wraps it all up. Whether it's facing the fire of that burning house or doing the hard work to find the jewel inside you, the message is crystal clear. Our greatest potential for growth lies in confronting the very challenges we're most afraid of. The path to awakening isn't about avoiding difficulty. It's about walking right through it.